You know what I always say? Even therapists have a therapist. Just knowing the theories and the approaches and the strategies doesn't mean that we do the things correctly. And that's a very honest video that I decided to create today, sharing my own journey in figuring out what I need to do in order to protect my own mental health. Because also the carers need to be cared for. And it was a journey because I had to go through a lot of mistakes that I did, and I thought that this would work, but then it didn't. And then eventually, in order to reach to the present moment when I have a plan, when I have my strategies, and of course, sometimes also things go wrong, but still, there is now a more stable and a more rigid plan on how to protect my mental health. But again, I'm here in order to share my journey of how figuring out the right things for my mental health was not always the right thing. And there were times that I felt really exhausted and really stuck. So I want to share 10 things. 10 things that were not actually working when I thought that they would for my mental health. And even though I thought so, it didn't. But then eventually I figured out my own way. Hi, I'm Vassia. I'm a psychologist. I'm a founder of Anti-Loneliness. I'm an expert in perfectionism and burnout. And this is a channel where high achievers like you and me, perfectionists, everybody join the club here. We break free from perfectionism and burnout and emotional exhaustion. And we really reconnect with who we really are and how to find balance and joy in our lives. And of course, if you have ever found yourself saying, well, I should be happy, but I'm not, then this channel is for you. So, what are the 10 things that didn't work for my mental health? First of all, let's talk about meditation. There are many reactions and responses to meditation. We think that there's a lot of, talk around meditation, and we hear people saying, well, we have to meditate if you want to be calm, but nobody tells us exactly why and how it works and what we should expect from it. So I used to say, well, meditation is a luxury, or meditation is for people who live alternatively, people who are more spiritual, or it's just a luxury. Who has time to meditate? I need to work, I need to do things, I need to be productive. But then that's the irony. When I wasn't meditating, I couldn't focus. That's the thing that you gain with meditation. And I would jump from one task to another. I would feel really mentally cluttered. And then I would blame myself for not being productive enough. So I gave it a really good chance. And I tried meditation. And of course, we have to try small steps, like I'm talking about 10 minutes a day thing. And then I would notice the change. I would be more productive. It felt like, brushing your teeth. And I would remove all pressure for perfection. Like, of course, you know that when you try meditation, you're not focused 20, you're not focused for the whole duration of meditation. That's the actual work of meditation. When you're not focused, you're putting yourself back in the present moment. That was when actually I learned how to clear the noise and come back to myself. The second thing, you know how things, tasks, and all the to do list items never end? So that was the thing that I was doing wrong. I was working through weekends in order to reduce stress. That was my idea, that if I keep working on weekends, then I would get more stuff done and then I will feel less anxious. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because your brain doesn't take a break. You feel drained, you feel exhausted, and then you go back to Monday feeling that that's not Monday. I barely had a weekend. You lose track of days even. But so what I do now, I protect my weekends, sacred weekends. I'm not going to do anything work wise there. Of course, there are exceptions to that, but they're exceptions. They're not the rule. So my weekends are my weekends. This is a boundary to protect my nervous system. Not only I don't work, but also I don't think about work. Because if you're not working, but you're thinking about work, actually you're working. So I don't think about work. Number three, I was not delegating. I was not giving tasks to my team, to my VA, to other people, even though they were very willing to help. But the rationale behind that was that I didn't want to overload them. It's a small thing. It will take me 5 minutes. It's fine. I can do it. So eventually I held on to everything, even the tasks that I hated, even the tasks that were not meant to be for me. They were meant to be for somebody else. So the result again, I got overwhelmed because I thought I don't want to overwhelm the team, or it's just a minor thing. I can do it fine. The worst thing is that I started resenting my work. I started feeling overwhelmed all the time, even though I love my work. But then I started feeling that I don't enjoy a lot of it. So now I remind myself that delegating is not a sign of weakness, is not a burden to other people. They're really willing to support me. And it's an honor to everybody's strengths, actually. They feel trusted. So that's what I'm doing more now. Number four, being harsh with myself after my mistakes. That's a big one. That's a big one. A lot of self flagellation. Because being an entrepreneur, having your own business, and wanting this business to grow will always come with mistakes. Always. Maybe it's a daily phenomenon, even. So imagine daily blaming, accusing, punishing yourself for these mistakes. The plan was actually to create more thick skin, like not accusing myself, not blaming myself, not being harsh with myself after the mistakes, but take it as a feedback. And I would not say things to myself that I wouldn't say to somebody else. I wouldn't treat myself as special, like I have special strengths, and that's why we have special expectations from myself. No, when I make mistakes, I pause, I allow myself to make mistakes, I take it as feedback, I try to detach it from my identity. It doesn't mean that I am faulty or I am a failure. And that's work in progress, of course. Another thing, now that I said about progress, another thing that I used to do, compare myself to other people's progress. Constant comparison. Everybody that I would see on LinkedIn, everybody that I would meet on networking events, they had something that I would say to myself, you could have done that as well. You could have been better. You could have been more successful. Look how other people are doing it better. They're more loved. They're more appreciated. There's something wrong with you. Again, the harsh self talk. And that's stemming from the comparison. I would scroll on social media, find somebody doing something amazing or hitting a milestone, and I would say to myself, see, I'm behind. So now I track my growth against myself, my past self, not other people. I look where I was last year, I look where I was 10 years ago, and the progress is really huge. Of course, there are people around me that they have been there, done that, and they're way ahead. Of course. Why wouldn't they? The same way there are people that are behind me, but who's counting, who's measuring, and what's the point of counting and measuring? It only matters that one, we enjoy what we do, and secondly, that we see the progress and the alignment with our values, the progress with our past self, and the alignment with our values and what we believe as our mission. Number six, habits. All this productivity and success is all about habits. It's not a random phenomenon. It's not something that will happen from one day to another. If you want to have mental health, if you want to have inner peace, you have to journal. You have to try meditation. You have to go for walks. You have to exercise. It's about habits. It's not about going to therapy once a week and then not do anything in between the sessions. It's the habit that we build. So I used to say things like, well, I will go swimming because I like swimming whenever I feel like it. Or I will journal when I have free time. But the truth is that the brain will not remind us, and didn't remind me as well, to do the new things. Our brain is resistant to change, absolutely. So I would forget these things all the time, and I would be like, see, today I could have gone to the swimming pool, but I missed it, I forgot it. So now I attach habits to anchors. I really say, Tuesdays and Thursdays, swimming pool. After lunch, 10 minutes walk. It has to happen every day, even though you don't see the reward or the progress immediately. So don't count on motivation. That's not going to happen. As I said, the brain will fight you back. Number seven, believing that when I reach a milestone or achieve a goal, then I will find joy or rest. Then I will be happy. So I used to think I will finish when everything is done, or I will be happy when I will succeed this goal. And then, guess what? I arrived at this goal, no happiness. I would feel, "Mwah, okay, not that important." But then I will be like, oh my God, I was fighting for this and working on that so hard, and I don't feel happy. Then what's the point? So now I see rest and joy as something that needs to happen daily, even in very small portions. Like I would rest for 5 minutes, or I will feel happy with a tiny little bit of my progress, because then I create momentum for the big joy, for the big rest. Without them, I cannot show up fully, I cannot do anything. So I don't need to earn rest and joy. I create rest and joy every day so that I enjoy that. I create the space for that. Number eight, ignoring my body. I would skip meals if I would be busy, like skipping lunch. Like, who needs lunch? I'm fine. Am I hungry? No. Or I would eat it very fast in front of my computer screen. I would even miss water breaks. I would not have a glass of water next to me because I would be like so focused on what I would do. Toilet breaks, all the basic needs were just suppressed because, yeah, I'm busy, I'm doing something important. So then my body would protest, of course. My body would manifest stomach problems, back pain problems, tight shoulders, headaches. Yeah, that's the way that your body alarms you, like, hey, what are you doing there? So now I create and I protect in a very sacred way again these moments to nourish my body. Lunch break is an hour long, even though I don't have lunch for an hour, but still it's my time to have lunch, to prepare it in a slow and calm way. Also to make sure that I clean up. I have time for a walk just around the block, 10 minutes, just to help with the digestion, play a little bit with my cats because they miss me as well if I work the whole day long. But ignoring my body is not happening anymore because I know that I would pay the price if I do that again. Number nine, measuring my worth by my output. So I'm worthy if I'm successful. If I'm not successful, if I'm not having a lot of clients, if I don't have a big team, then probably I'm doing something wrong. Again, seeing the big picture helped me. I cannot function when I'm feeling guilty all the time that I'm doing something wrong. But if I see the big picture, that it's this emotional roller coaster, when I see that, and when I also hear other entrepreneurs that they're going through that, then I normalize what I go through. I don't attach it to my self-worth. I know it's a choice I made and I honor it. And number 10, treating myself or my life like a problem that needs to be fixed. Like being constantly into this fix mode. Every day you have to fix something, you have to send an email, you have to correct the problem, you have to make somebody feel better, you have to help clients, you have to help therapists. All the time being in this mode that you are useful because you're needed and you're not supposed to feel negative feelings. Well, that changed by reminding myself that I'm doing this so that I can enjoy it, that I can be proud of it, that I can also give other people the responsibility of their own life and of their own issues and challenges. I allow myself to be imperfect. And that also helps my clients to see that I don't have it figured out. I don't have all my ducks in a row. And they're getting inspired by that and not by me showing up as perfect. Emotions are not problems. They're messengers. I'm allowed to feel without fixing. I'm allowed to be authentic without being perfect. So these were 10 things that I used to do wrong or I used to think in a wrong way. I hope that they can help. I hope that you can be inspired. Let me know what is it that you have been doing in a different way and you changed. As I said, therapists have their own therapists. We are also learning what works for us. We're also learning how to practice mental health, how to be compassionate with ourselves. And because we're all a work in progress. So if this sounds familiar, I want you to know it's not your fault. We're figuring out life. We didn't come with a manual when we were born. We are taking ourselves out of the survival mode into the thriving mode. And we are learning it now, gently and slowly. So thank you very much for being here. If this video, of course, resonates with you, share it with more people. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, if you're struggling with symptoms of overwhelm and exhaustion, I share with you a free burnout checklist so that you can see how you can understand whether your body is protesting even louder at this moment and you can get the help that you need. Thank you very much for being here. Until next time, take good care of yourself.